Tonight, 5 Trinidad nationals are tonight in custody in Grenada after they were captured at sea following a daring sea chase as the men tried to get away following a rare bank robbery on the Grenadian ward island of Carriacou. According to eyewitnesses, 2 men robbed the Carriacou branch of the Grenada Cooperative Bank of a yet determined amount of money and reportedly, after running through the town of Hillsborough, made a getaway from a 13-square-mile island with a speedboat. The other 3 men were apparently on the boat. They were chased by the Grenada Coast Guard, and a plane from the regional security system based in Barbados was asked to respond. The men in the getaway boat were believed to be heading to Tobago, just over 100 miles from the southern Grenadine island of Carriacou. We have tonight from Hillsborough, the capital of Carriacou, journalist Raul Patterson. Raul, what is the latest you are hearing from there tonight?
What I can tell you as I speak just about now, the alleged 5 men in the daylight robbery of the Coop Bank, Hillsborough, Carriacou, they have been taken to the mainland Grenada aboard the Coast Guard, also guarded by a second Coast Guard. Also, the boat allegedly used as a getaway boat from the robbery, now been, of course, also taken to the mainland. They left Carriacou just about 6 p.m. Reports said that the men were caught to the eastern side of Carriacou. Although, as I speak just about now, the situation is still very fluid, as you would understand why. So the officers are still putting the pieces together. So the 5 men caught, they have been taken to mainland Grenada. There are speculations that, of course, they are Trinidadians, but of course we have not yet confirmed that from the police. But they are taken to Grenada as we speak just about now, heavily guarded by a heavy contingency of officers.
Give us the details based on the information you have pieced together of exactly what took place this morning.
Well, just around 1 o'clock this afternoon, we learned that 2 men entered the bank. One wearing a hoodie and, of course, his mask, because he must have mask to, of course, enter the bank now as of the COVID-19 protocol. And the both of them entered. And while at the bank, I understand that the security guard, who, of course, I requested an interview from, but he declined at the moment, say that they're a little bit too distraught to speak, but maybe in the near future, he's going to give us, some information. And he said as they entered the bank, now what I learned, as they entered the bank, he asked one to remove his hoodie. And removing his hoodie, he pulled out a gun and, of course, pointed to his head and began going to the teller and robbing the bank. What is also interesting too is that a customer was at the bank at the time, spoke to me a short while ago, and he told me that he was in the bank at the time. And the men came in. He said both of them had a gun. And as they came in, and as the officer asked them, the security guard asked one of the guys to remove his hoodie. He was wearing a hoodie over his head. He pulled out the gun, and the other one pulled out the gun and said, "Everybody, put your hands up and go down on the floor." And he said everyone went down on the floor. Then one of the guys proceeded to the teller, asked her to pass the money. She passed out the money. The man rushed out. And after they rushed out, of course, they made their way up to the Esplanade. That's just about, maybe I would take out 200 meters from Coop Bank, just on the corner of Middle Street and Main Street, went into a boat and on the Esplanade, made their way off to the northern side, and apparently made the attack around gunpoint, came around gunpoint and was heading south. And from information, they were caught. What I can also tell you too is that there was an eyewitness outside the bank who told me that she saw the 2 guys moving very suspicious. One had a bag looked rather heavy, and he was kind of finding it difficult to walk because his pants was falling. And she said the way he was moving, he looked very, very suspicious. Then as the alarm came out, they started running. People started running after them. Understand that they fired some shots. The police ran up after them, by which time they jumped into the boat and they made away. So which means they had 3 guys on the boat awaiting the arrival of the 2 from the bank. I just spoke to a gentleman short while ago, and he told me, interestingly, he saw these 5 guys been loitering around a corner in Hillsborough from since early this morning.
In a statement late Monday, MP for Carriacou, Kendra Mathurin Stewart, said, and we quote, "Indeed, the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique are heartened by the swift and efficient action of the local police and Coast Guard, which reflects the improved local security capacity on the island. In recent years, the government invested great resources in personnel and equipment in our ongoing efforts at improved security. Despite that fact, we are determined to review even further some of the local security operations, since this is the second time within 2 years that our very peaceful community has been jolted by what is effectively a cross-border raid by regional criminal elements. The MP further stated, "We are thankful that none of our citizens were hurt during today's dramatic development, though witnesses would have had some trauma since it is unusual in one of the most serene and peaceful jurisdictions in this hemisphere." Unquote.